Two things are gloomy on the Ole Miss campus today: the weather and the future of the Ole Miss football program as legendary head coach Lane Kiffin decides whether to stay at the University of Mississippi or go somewhere else. The question is, who will lead the Rebels to victory in this stadium in 2026? A chilly night here in Oxford as the city prepares for its annual Christmas parade. Now, the parade was supposed to be held yesterday, but is being held tonight due to the inclement weather from last night. And that date change is just another one of the changes that the people of Oxford and fans of Ole Miss football have had to endure over the past 72 hours. The city of Oxford is growing rapidly. The home of the University of Mississippi has not seen population growth like this in its history. And as the university accepts more freshmen every year at record-breaking levels, what's also breaking records are the housing prices. Look around. What do you see? A giant parking lot, which is soon all that the Tad Pad will be. Ole Miss's C.M. Tad Smith Coliseum will be demolished in 2026 as the university plans for even more expansion. In 2008, the University of Mississippi hosted its first ever presidential debate between then Senator Barack Obama and former Senator John McCain. Now the university hopes to do it all again and host another presidential debate exactly 20 years later for 2028. Welcome back to Newswatch Ole Miss. For many students, it's a study partner, and for some, it's a major shortcut. AI has become a staple in the classroom, but what does that mean for education in the future? Reporter Olivia Walzer gives us the inside on what professors really think about this new learning tool. Now taking things nationally, two flights operated by Delta Airlines collided with each other on the tarmac of New York's LaGuardia Airport last night. The collision between Delta Flight 5047 and Flight 5155 happened at the intersection of two taxiways. According to air traffic controller recordings, Flight 5155 was instructed to wait before crossing the intersection, but the aircraft did not wait. The flight inched forward, colliding with Flight 5047. One person was injured, and a flight attendant reported an uncomfortable knee after the accident. The FAA and Delta Airlines are investigating the incident. President Trump wants to allow the oil and gas drilling in the Pacific Ocean. The New York Times reports that the president and his administration want to open California's Pacific coast to new oil and gas drilling operations, something that hasn't happened in nearly 40 years. But the move is not going unnoticed. California Governor Gavin Newsom says such plans would be, quote, dead on arrival, adding the state would challenge it in court. Even though some analysts believe oil companies wouldn't even be interested in drilling on California's coasts, the Department of Interior could still announce the plans as soon as next week. Why are you closing?
I'm not closing. I was asked to leave.
One of the longest running and most well-known bars on the Oxford Square is closing its doors after 17 years of business. And in a Newswatch exclusive interview, I sat down with the owner of the iconic Rooster's Blues House.
I don't have words. It's basically we're not renewing the lease. This operation will no longer exist here in Oxford at this property.
After learning in September that this local hotspot would be closing, I had to find out why the icon of blues music, open mic nights, and karaoke on the square was leaving so abruptly.
We could have easily sat down and worked out whatever issues they have, or if we couldn't have worked it out, do it amicably and agreeably. I'd have probably shaken their hand, we'd had dinner, and we'd have a better interview about this whole situation, but we don't. We're out, my employees are out. The customers lose a great venue.
Mr. Michael says that almost all of his communications with both property owner Tim Phillips and other associates have been ignored. I also tried to reach out to Mr. Phillips and others affiliated with the property. My messages were read, but not responded to. What have you done to stop this from happening?
I've done everything that I can do, emails and phone calls to deaf ears.
I wanted to know more about Mr. Michael's future business plans, and I also wondered if the city of Oxford had anything at all to do with Roosters leaving the square. Would you ever reopen Roosters Blues House in Oxford?
Absolutely. Robin Tannehill, the mayor, was great to us and to this whole square, this whole city. What they've done for me and the support I've got, it's been overwhelming.
Some have speculated that your closure may have to do with some things in your personal life. What is your response to that?
The people I'm told that are coming in behind me, for lack of better words, have more of a shady background than me, period. They're bringing in somebody that has clearly got a decorated past.
But the new tenants seem to have every intention on making this new space their own, taking out ads in local newspapers, asking for general managers, bar managers, and other employees. But Mr. Michael says this won't hold him back, as he is only weeks away from the grand opening of a new location across state lines.
I mean, right now we're moving to Memphis, made deals in 3 other cities, Nashville, Memphis, Austin, Texas. They're welcoming me with open arms, and I'm glad to be there.
And as 2024 comes to a close, it's last call at Rooster's Blues House and time for change on the Oxford Square that hasn't been seen in 17 years.
It's just home to me. You know, home has been Oxford. It's the greatest town ever.
For Newswatch Ole Miss, I'm William Traylor. It was his first stop on his American comeback tour across college campuses. The politically right activist and founder of Turning Point USA, with nearly 10 million Instagram followers, regularly hosted open debates on campuses, with one that was scheduled right here at Ole Miss on October 29th. The national and local reaction was swift. Immediately, social media and feeds were flooded with condolences and opinions. Even on this 24-year anniversary of the 9/11 terrorist attacks, news, videos, and commentary of Kirk's death have taken over nearly all conversations on the internet and in person. President Trump released a video shortly after declaring the violence as terrorism and vowing to use all resources of the federal government to find the killer. Utah Governor Spencer Cox called it a political assassination. Reaction across the Ole Miss campus has been visible and amplified, some even going viral on social media for their support, like this group of freshmen whose sign hung from the Deaton Hall dorms yesterday afternoon.
Yeah, I went to Walmart, bought a bed sheet and some paint, and figured, let's make a banner and hang a banner and a flag outside our dorm. We could all have our disagreements, but at the end of the day, we are all human, and that is a human life we lost.
Other students gathered outside the dorm building to mourn and express their collective grief. Some students did not have any grief to express at all.
I'm very sad about this.
Oh no.
Wow, what a great man. Can I just tell you how great of a man he was? He was a great man because he's dead. Because he's dead now. He's dead.
I thought it was terrible. I don't think anyone should be shot for having the wrong quote unquote wrong political opinion.
Everybody should be able to have freedom of speech and talk about whatever they want to speak. He was doing something very peaceful and very educational, and people took it the wrong way.
And as the hunt continues, Americans are ending their day to day in a nation more polarized, more anxious, and more violent than the nation they were in yesterday. William Traylor, Newswatch Ole Miss. The Ole Miss men's basketball team hosted their final game in the CM Tad Smith Coliseum last night. The building, affectionately known as the Tad Pad, will be demolished next year as the university plans for more expansion. Students and basketball fans sold out the arena for the finale ball game in an emotional farewell to the iconic building. The Tad Pad was built in 1966, hosting orientations, graduations, and several notable speakers over its nearly 60 years. It was replaced by the Pavilion in 2016.
It's been a special place. It's been, a place where we've celebrated graduations, basketball games, making the cheer team.
It is so hard to turn loose at Tad Smith Coliseum because some of the great basketball games. I remember Charles Barkley never made a free throw in all 4 years he was that Auburn came.
The Smith family, for whom the building is named, was also honored at the game. The university's website says a parking lot will take its place while the university, quote, determines future building needs. In the last night's farewell game, the Rebels hosted the California State Roadrunners, winning the game by nearly 22 points and giving the Tad Pad one last victory. The final score was 60-82. Well, this is what we all wished it looked like today. But that's what it actually looked like today. Look at all the leaves that are gone, the cloudy skies, and welcome back to Newswatch Ole Miss. I'm William Traylor with Stormwatch. 68 degrees here in Oxford today. Light rain all day long on the Oxford campus. If you've been outside this morning, you probably have had that umbrella with you, or you've gotten wet as a result of not having that umbrella. 5-mile-per-hour winds, 98% humidity here in Oxford today. You may have noticed last night how all that fog was in the air, all that steam, what looked like steam was in the air. That's that humidity, and that will stick around for tonight as well. Now, as you go into this next week, some temperatures are going to ebb and flow a little bit. There's going to be some fluctuation that we're going to try to tell you about, but what you need to know is the Memphis radar is down. According to the National Weather Service, that's what this red dot is that you see right here on your screen. That is the main radar we use for all of our weathercasts around here in the Mid-South, and that radar is down, so you may have to swap around, use your weather app, put it in Little Rock or Huntsville or somewhere like that if you're having trouble pulling up the weather on your phone because of that radar outage. National Weather Service posting this on their Facebook page with a little sad face on the radar as well. Telling you to just use another radar for the time being. That radar should be fixed within the next couple of days. So what are we looking at around the region today? 64 in South Haven, 68 is a high today in Oxford, 67 in Holly Springs. And we're going to stay in that 60-degree range all day today and all night tonight. We're not going to break out of that for the next 12 hours or so. 61 being your low this evening. That's not going to change until tomorrow, but tomorrow's forecast is going to be pretty good. I'll tell you about it in just a second. 61 your low tonight. Cloudy, but we don't really have a whole lot of precipitation. You may get some sprinkles here and there, but nothing like we've been having for the majority of the day today. The winds are going to stay down, but that humidity will be high. It'll feel very muggy, very sticky, and all of that fog will stay in the air tonight like it did last night. But tomorrow's going to come. It's a new day, and it'll be 75 degrees and mostly sunny for your Friday. 9 miles per hour, 23% chance of precipitation for everyone that's leaving Oxford. You'll have a pretty good day to get out of Oxford with that weather. Not too much rain hindering your drive back home. Tomorrow's highs around the area: 75 in Oxford, 76 in Holly Springs, 74 down in Tupelo. We're finally getting below the 60s, 59 for your lows tomorrow night, and it's going to stay that way for the majority of the weekend, as you can see here in your 7-day forecast. Look at that Saturday and Sunday, 69 and 66 with lows as 47, and then we're going to go into Monday and Tuesday with some big rain that is going to bring in a cold front here into the Mid-South region that will follow us all the way into Wednesday and into the Egg Bowl, which we will win.
I can't do the cold. I came down here thinking it's hot year-round.